And welcome back to another Who Would Win. I'm back inside. A little mishap happened, so the dog's actually sleeping upstairs. So I can talk downstairs for a change. That's why I've been doing a lot of my videos outside. It's nice out during the day at the moment, and doing videos with the dog in the room is a little difficult. But we're not here to talk about that, unless you want me to just sit here with Domino in my lap for about an hour and a half and just do a video on that. Just like, look at Domino, she's adorable. And statistically, that'd get more views than any one of my videos ever. But no. So this Who Would Win is Catwoman versus Black Cat, the respected cat burglars of their Marvel and DC universe, going at it. Now, when it comes to these characters, they're very, very similar. In fact, they have very few differences in terms of their actual abilities per se. There are a few key differences and a few subtle differences, and there's a few X factors to take into account there. So we'll start with Catwoman. Now, Catwoman is Selena Kyle. She stands at 5'7" at 133 pounds. She's about as athletic and wouldn't say peak, but she's as athletic and in shape as someone of her body build allows. She's highly acrobatic, jumping from rooftop to rooftop all the time. She works with Batman occasionally. She's just like Black Cat. She's a bit of an anti-hero. She's a skilled safecracker. She has empathy with cats. We actually see she bonds with cats very well, and they'll even come to her aid. She is skilled with a bullet, able to use it, to go whoosh, Indiana Jones style, tie someone up, just use as a weapon, and uses the diversionary attack. Very skilled with the bullwhip. She has retractable claws in her suit, which are very sharp. 1 second, where did I write that? There. Her claws are strong enough to shred bulletproof vests and even punch through an aluminum frame car door if she's, say, doing that. So they're pretty sharp, and she's pretty strong. She's also extremely highly stealthy, able to almost creep up on Batman, which if you can creep up on Batman, that's impressive. Furthermore, she's mastered a few forms of hand-to-hand combat. She's particularly mastered a form called Dragon Style, which I tried to look up, but I don't know the specifics. But she has also been trained by Wildcat, who's one of the most skilled hand-to-hand combat users in the DC universe. Now, one of the X factors you could have put into play here is that she's actually worked with Batman. She's had experience dealing with Batman-like foes and dealing with Batman and things along those lines. That is a level of experience that is very interesting. Also, she's physically strong enough to lift about 270 pounds. She's physically strong to lift about twice her weight, the articles or the information said, which, twice her weight roughly comes out to about 170. So that's Catwoman. Black Cat is Felicia Hardy. Now, she stands 5'10", so she's a good 3 inches taller, but she's about 13 pounds lighter. She's only about 120 pounds. Yet she comes off more muscular than, say, Catwoman does, which is interesting. She wears a special... Now, she doesn't necessarily have meta-human abilities per se. She's very agile, but her suit lets her lift roughly about 100 pounds. She has retractable claws in her suit as well. Increased agility, and a balance compensator in the suit that allows her to, keep her balance like a cat does. She has contact lenses that allow her to see UV and infrared spectrums, basically night vision. She has a grappling hook she can use, similar to kind of like Batman does, except not from a gun, just kind of like whoosh, Spider-Man, swing around. She can actually run at a top speed of roughly 40 miles an hour. She's skilled in hand-to-hand combat, knowing things such as judo, karate, and has beaten the likes of Sabretooth in battle. Now, one of the things to take into consideration in this is if she has her probability her ability to manipulate probability in her favor, because she does not have that originally. That was something that was given to her through two different means, and by both means, as far as I know, they were actually taken away. So, for sake, we'll put them both at their peak. We'll give her the probability manipulation. And she hangs out with Spider-Man. She's basically the Catwoman to his Batman, more or less. So, skilled opponent, or skilled burglar, very adept. But she's actually not as physically. I don't know. We don't know how physically strong she is. Generally speaking, her suit lets her do the 800-pound lifting feat. But still, it's a suit, and it gives her all these abilities. So, but take away the suit, take away all their abilities. Both these characters are basically human. They're just very skilled humans in what they do. So the fight would probably take place, them trying to steal the same thing, them getting in each other's way, and the fight ensues. Now, I'd probably guess it's going to be actually Catwoman who steals something Black Cat wants, because she's more likely to be the burglar type in this scenario, just given their personalities. Their chase is going to probably ensue, and right now, Black Cat's got a physical advantage over Catwoman. She does, absolutely. But that's being said, it's based off a suit. Her claws can rip Kevlar. Her claws can tear through aluminum. I don't believe her suit is that durable. So, while she may hold an advantage in hand-to-hand and physical strength, Catwoman's claws could easily rip that suit up and possibly ruin that suit, giving her decreased abilities throughout the process. However, before we even get that, Black Cat's got to catch her. Now, Catwoman is very agile, very skilled, jumping through top her ease, but I think Black Cat kind of owns her in that right too. In terms of all the physical, most of her physical stuff, she really does kind of outdo Catwoman a bit. And a lot of that has to do with her suit. It does. Now, granted, even if, say, Catwoman did get away, she has UV and infrared scanning lenses, so she could basically track her down. She is a pretty decent tracker. And then when you get to the hand-to-hand combat scenario, that's where it comes out a little differently. I've never known her, or at least I have not read her, to use the grappling hook in combat, Black Cat. But Catwoman's got a bullwhip. She's highly effective with it. She could easily keep her at a distance for a while, and maybe score a couple hits. Now, I don't know much about the dragon style, but if she's been trained by Wildcat and mastering a style, she's fairly skilled hand-to-hand combat. Now, Black Cat has more disciplines under her belt, but did not really say she's mastered them. She just knows them. She's probably very skilled in them, too, but she's more just knows them. So, it's a wash, but I'll probably give the edge to Black Cat in that as well. But here's the thing about this, is that there's a big X factor involved in this fight, and that's the company these characters keep. Black Cat hangs around with Spider-Man. Spider-Man, they fight, superpower beings all the time together or something like that. They're flirtatious. But Spider-Man's personality, even though he's gotten more serious over the years and things like that as he grew up, he's still kind of immature, brash, and just cocky. So she adopts that kind of philosophy too and having fun with him. Catwoman hangs out with Batman. Batman don't hang around. Batman is a serious dude. And she's dealt with a far more psychotic individuals in terms of the overall whole than Black Cat. I mean, Black Cat maybe has to deal with Green Goblin, Venom, and maybe Doc Ock, Carnage maybe. I mean, those are some pretty high baddies. Those are pretty high-profile badass dudes. But Catwoman has dealt with the Joker. Catwoman has dealt with Clayface, Two-Face, Penguin, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Hush. I'm sorry, Batman. I mean, Spider-Man's one of the only characters who has a rogues gallery big enough to match Batman's. But in terms of how screwed up they are, Batman's kicks Spider-Man's characters' asses in terms of just their mental. Just they're not well. They are very not well. And when you're dealing with that psychological aspect of the opponents you're fighting, you learn different tactics of how to deal with them, which blends to the credence that, again, I have nothing to really go by this off comic-wise, but if you lend to the credence that Black Cat probably has more fun toying with an opponent than Catwoman does, even though Catwoman does it too, but Catwoman knows how to eke out a psychological advantage because she knows how to piss off a lot of these characters. She knows how to get under their skin. She knows how to go after their weaknesses. So I think Catwoman's actually the better at exploiting a weakness than Black Cat is. And I think one of the weaknesses of Black Cat is the fact that suits what gives her a bit of her ability. Now, that being said, taking the probability manipulation, then it turns into a whole other X factor right there. Is that, and you'll have to give me, I've got a bit of a cold with the transition to fall at the moment. But no, the probability manipulation in her favor, from what I understand, it doesn't always work either. Because that's what, Black Cat, bad luck, all that scenario, all that jazz. It doesn't always work in her favor. Sometimes it does backfire. So it's a very hit and miss scenario. The probability manipulation might work sometimes, and then it doesn't work all the time. So it's very hit and miss with that. So it's hard to gauge how that works exactly, if that would affect it. Now, granted, when it works, it's going to work. Like the bullwhip thing, if her manipulation it happens, or probability shit happens, then she's like, ah, my face! And, you know, Black Cat will go in and start beating the crap out of her. See, and I know it sounds like I'm preaching for Batman, but Batman is Batman for a reason. I mean, when he's written correctly, and not just written because I'm the goddamn Batman, Batman is one of the most comparable badass individuals in comic history. So for you to be the kind of part-time sidekick for him sometimes, you know, deal with his stuff, it's a pretty impressive little title you get there. So that's actually a bit extra factor for her part. But the probability manipulation, man, if I were to guess in terms of who's going to win more often, because this is really a big wash at the moment, it is probably going to be Black Cat who wins more often because of the probability manipulation. When that's going to be working for her, it's going to be a big advantage. However, the X factor of Batman for Catwoman is actually a big advantage in her part because she knows how to deal the psychological battle and exploit the weaknesses psychologically of her opponent better than Black Cat does. Now, granted, said they're not masters at doing that, but she's had experience doing that more than Black Cat has. So if I were to say this, it's probably going to be about 60% of the time Black Cat is going to win, and then about 40% of the time Catwoman is going to win. It's probably going to be something along those lines. It's probably not going to be like, it's not going to be a fight to the death, even though my thumbnail says death battle. It ain't going to be a fight to the death with these characters. It's just going to be, knock you out, give me that, steal. Then, you know, do the cat scratch, litter box on them. You did not do the litter box at me. So, that's my thoughts on that. Again, 60% the Black Cat and about 40% the Catwoman. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Now, you may notice I don't have a review up for The Intern this week. And that's because we kind of just said screw it. I mean, I did kind of want to see The Intern, but long run, it's not... I doubt it'd be a very interesting review. It's just kind of romantic... not even a romantic comedy. It's just... kind of a charming little comedy. So whatever. But next week's The Martian and Legend. I'm going to try to catch both, but I'll definitely catch The Martian next week. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.